Hey guys, it's Eric with the Miller Park Minute, where we're throwing strikes and getting likes, hitting dingers, and getting listeners back again with another episode. Ah, all I got to say. That's it. Episode over. No, just kidding. Uh, so this is your only Brewers Daily podcast coming at you every day, 5:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. We go live after every Brewers game. We try and chat, or when we can. There'll be games I miss, I'm sure, but. Let's talk about this one. It was an ugly one tonight. Of course, you're gonna have ugly ones against the Cardinals. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. I'm angry. I'm very angry. That's totally unacceptable. Well, it happens though, Roosevelt. I mean, at the end of the day, you're not gonna win all 162. You're not gonna win 161. That's never happened in the history. I'm sick of that conversation that it was even had over the last week. It was making me nauseous just to see it. But I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's true. Saw this coming. I agree 100%. They were due. Right, exactly. We're going 7-2 heading into this road trip. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. We can still win the series tomorrow. We're not out of the woods here yet. This is a long season, so it was good to see him play some good baseball. We'll talk about the good, the bad, and the downright ugly of this game, as we always do. It's gonna be a stretch here, though. It's gonna be a stretch to come up with the good. Not gonna lie. No, true facts is the bullpen is really our strength right now. The bullpen has been putting up scoreless inning after scoreless inning, and these goddamn starters are screwing it up. Just kidding. But they are the unsung heroes right now, and there are a bunch of guys that we don't know, and they've been awesome though. Like they've come in, they've done their job. Even in these games, really kind of early this season, they've just showed up. They've showed up. They've pitched, and it's been scoreless. So we can't really fault the bullpen in this. Lauer is going to be that 5-6 start guy that's just going to be rough from time to time. So he definitely qualifies as the downright. Oh, you're fine. The downright ugly tonight. The bats just weren't there. Timely hitting wasn't there. I thought we had a comeback in us when Luke Voigt was up to bat with the bases loaded. Yelich is not delivering high in the rotation. I think in the lineup, he needs to be moved down or flip-flopped with somebody. But I mean, we're early in this thing yet, guys, so I can't be too mad. I can be mad. I'm mad. Don't get me wrong, I'm mad right now. I'm very mad. I'm trying to laugh it off, but I just think there's more keys to the game here. Brian Anderson didn't have any hits, so he'll qualify as bad. Caratini didn't have any hits. Owen Miller. Richard, what's up? Lauer's problem. So Lauer is going to be one of these guys we're going to see go in and out. He has his good days and his bad days. He's still a good pitcher. It's not like I'm saying trade the guy because you need him. You need him for 162, for all 162. But he's going to have those starts. He's one of those guys that fires off, has a couple clunkers in a row, and then gets it back. At the end of the day, he will get it back. And we've got other bullpen pieces and other starting rotation pieces. That Bryce Wilson, he's a guy that could start if it really goes bad for Lauer down the stretch. I mean, we can use Bryce Wilson or maybe an Ethan Small after you get some work in. Yeah, exactly. He's a good fifth starter, but they have those yo-yo performances. It's the truth. You can't have five aces. You can't roll out five Corbin Burns. You're gonna, and there was some good news on the Adrian Hauser thing. He's thrown two bullpens. They look like they're gonna send him down to get a start down in the minors and maybe bring him back up. So maybe we use him. And to be real, when we stocked with we had all these starters. I kind of felt that that's what's going to happen. Just like the outfield and the position players, we're going to be rotating guys all season long. You have to remember at the end of the day, the Brewers used 51 players last year, and we were in it all the way till the end. So we'll see some moves. We'll see some stuff happen. I don't think they're going to make any send downs or call ups at this juncture. Yeah, it was a horrible game. It was just terrible, and it sucked. But again, pros and cons, good and bad. We're still sitting here with the first place team on a week and a half into the season. Basically, we'll count the first week as a half week. I think that the bats were okay tonight. I mean, Christian Yelich is just downright ugly right now, and he'll get into a better stretch. And I didn't like the lineup today. I find it weird that they keep trying to keep Yelich up at the top. I agree with that. I agree with your. I think at this juncture, we are really, kind of tinkering with this. What we've got in this team. You see Weimer moved up today, and they kind of don't know what they have and who's going to hit in succession. And they're going to play with that. And Craig Counsell is going to throw out 160 different lineups this season, so maybe 150. He looks like his bat is in the water when he swings, just no life in his bat. Yep. It's the truth. I mean, he supposedly was feeling his best, had this great unplugged off season, and did all this great work, but who knows what it equals. I mean, now in a month from now, Yelich could be on fire, and we could talk about him, hitting 10 dingers in 10 games or some crap like that. Like we don't know, and you don't know with any of these guys. We don't know that Weimer and the young bucks are going to continue to perform. We just don't know. I mean, it's a long season, and Cardinals got a good club. They do. I mean, they got two all-stars in the infield, solid all-stars, MVP candidates, you name it. We've got a bunch of unproven guys right now, so we'll see what happens in the long haul. If we come back swinging tomorrow, I think that'll be great. I enjoy the fact that the crew has this young core of players that can just bounce back. We got Freddie on the bump tomorrow. It'll be all right. He's looking great. He looks like he buffed up, and he just had kids, so I'm sure he's kind of in a special place. I think once these guys have kids, they get in this special zone. It's kind of weird and crazy at the same time. You go into like almost like a spot where you're being the best you can be. And I can say that from personal experience. So the downright ugly, of course, is Lauer's pitching. Yeah, it really does. The youth is what is our strong suit right now. So at the end of the day, all these guys are very, very resilient, and they'll come back tomorrow and they'll be fine. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried that we're, and we'll go through the ebbs and flows of the season. I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to lose 60 plus games and you're going to have bad stretches. It would have been cool to start the year on a really good stretch, but just it isn't there. Yeah, I mean, it's we're on the best. I think I still haven't referenced it because I just haven't had the time, but I still think this is probably the best start through. Was it 8 games? This thus far this season, yeah, best start through 8 games. I'm gonna say that it probably is. Um, I don't think they really year over year keep track. I know usually the back end, the statisticians do all that stuff in the back end, and I'm sure if you listen to Dominic Catronio over on TMJ, he's probably talking the same stuff. So you take the good and the bad and you run with it. And unfortunately, tonight was the bad, and just ugly game. Ugly game. We flush it and we move on, right? I am excited for tomorrow in the fact that it's a new start every day. Give Yelich some sort of time off. I mean, it might. That's yes. I got the article you sent me. So I didn't read it yet. I've been crazy busy all day today, but yeah, it's just one of those times where I think we got our expectations up. They're going to be kicked back down a little bit, and then they're going to keep rolling. I mean, that's the ebbs and flows, like I said, of a long season. 162. We got a ways to go on that. So, and I've seen all kinds of scenarios today, and I think one of the things that we don't want to lose sight of is that realisticness. Like a lot of people are like, well, maybe we could trade Christian Yelich. It's like no one's going to take that. He's our boat anchor. He's going to stay here. I've said this 100 times. Christian Yelich is not going to play his way off the Milwaukee Brewers. He is going to play with the Milwaukee Brewers until his contract is up. It'll be interesting to see if Yelich. I apologize. I'm squinting at all of your things because I just put my contacts back in. They're dry. I agree with that. I mean, it would be interesting to see because now we do have this core that we could just stick out in the outfield. I don't think I don't know what they're going to have. We're too early into this Yelich contract for it to go anywhere. That's the big problem. I mean, you could use Yelich as a DH, and Winker's not here for very long. I think Winker's through the end of the year. So like, reality of it is we just gotta kind of see who's gonna fit where. And I think that's what they were trying to do with like the Renfro deal and all this stuff along the way. That's why you got an Andrew McCutchen and all that. But I think the core of the issue is Christian Yelich just needs to hit. And I mean, I expect better things out of him. And I think we all do. And this is going to be the ongoing conversation that we're always going to have. If you could plug a Frelick, Mitchell, and Weimer out in the outfield and have your infield be Rowdy, Turang, Willie, and Urias, you'd be set. But unfortunately, players get injured, and we need those pieces. So if Christian Yelich gets injured, or if we find out he's got back spasms again, we'll see Frelick, and it'll be fun. That's my thought on that. Do you think we have an Anthony Rendon situation where Yelich doesn't care? I'm not gonna say no, but like he just, I don't know. I've said this year over year, after year after year after year. Christian Yelich needs to go to work, put on come back in the best shape of your life, put on 50 pounds of muscle and do that. And he just hasn't. Like the guy's like, I'm set for life now. I got this big contract. They're paying me $26 million a year. And he just doesn't seem to want to be the guy, and he quite clearly could have been the guy and should have been the guy after Ryan Braun left. But and they were building him up to be the guy after Ryan Braun left, but he hasn't been. And I've gotten a lot of flack over the years for saying speaking negatively on him. Some guy on Twitter, and he actually watches the show. I put out a tweet about him, and some guy's like, "Well, he's a professional. At least he's trying." And I'm like, "Yeah, trying doesn't get you $26 million a year. I try every day at work and to do my job, and I don't get paid $26 million a year. And I know it's a different industry. I'm not a professional baseball player, but at the end of the day, trying isn't good enough when you're Christian Yelich. Trying isn't good enough when you're on a major league level team. Sal Frelick is trying a lot harder than Christian Yelich is trying. And he's in AAA. He didn't get the call. I don't know how. I'm sure he doesn't. But once you get to a certain level or a certain, I don't know all the rules of that. But you can't. It's not like you can send Christian Yelich down. Christian Yelich is really, really the bane of a good hitting team right now. Because even Voit, not Voit. Yeah, he's not hitting, but he's also not the everyday. You're going to see more Rowdy than you are Voit. You're going to see more Willie Adames at shortstop than you are Turing. You're going to see Turing at second base. When it's not your everyday player, Owen Miller maybe would be a better example. Owen Miller is gonna be a position player that's going to be used as utility, just like Mike Brasso, just like you name it. And Brian Anderson's being used all over. And I just don't get where Yelich is broken. I'd put Frelick or Churio right now. I don't like. Okay. I'm gonna put time out this for a second. I'm gonna say I like Churio. I'm glad we have a Churio, but the problem is everybody wants to bring this kid up now, and that does not in any way need to happen. We need Frelick before we need Churio. We need to figure out how to have an outfield of Frelick, Garrett Mitchell, Weimer, and then use like a Jesse Winker and a Christian Yelich as like DHs and extra players if somebody goes down. Oh, you don't want to bring him on. Okay, I was gonna say, like everybody, like that's my big thing. Like everybody wants to rush this thing with him, and I'm like, no, let's keep him down there a little bit. Let him get some time. I don't see how he gets his bat back. And we're too early in this thing. We've got him locked up now for so we signed the extension 2 years ago now. 3, maybe 3. I think this is like the 3rd year of the extension, and he's just starting to make the 26 mil. No way. There's no possible way. No, yeah, and it's fine. Hypothetical. I like the hypotheticals. I hypothetically would like to see him just not play. You never wish any kind of injury, so don't wish an injury, but like let's just hypothetically say that maybe his back spasms come back and he can't play for like a month. That would be cool because we'd get the 3 young guys out there playing ball. And we've already seen just a small sampling. I think, and that's the other great part right now is we're only this far in to these guys' careers. Last year we got that much of Garrett Mitchell's career. And look how good he looked. I mean, he's like the next Ryan Braun. 2028? Oh. The shin injury is screwing with his mind. I'd like for him to be good. Don't get me wrong. I just It's disappointment. Every time he comes up and there's runners on, I get disappointed. The bases are loaded and Christian Yelich comes up to bat, and it's like, God damn, guys, come on. Can we pitch it? Can we pitch hit somebody right now? Isn't there a bat on the bench that would be better? And I know it's earlier in the season, but God, Yelich. Why? Why do we have to have this? Like, why couldn't the superstar we signed work? And I know Giancarlo isn't crazy. I don't know. He hasn't been crazy productive, I don't think. I mean, he's good, but I've used him year after year in fantasy, and he seems to get a couple points here and there, but he's not like an everyday beast. Ozuna, I don't think Ozuna is an everyday beast. I think what happens in Milwaukee, and I've actually been working on it, writing a script on this. Hitting in Milwaukee seems to, like, when we bring guys in, they seem to get broken. And it's the truth of the matter. Like, Colton Wong was a good hitter, and then he came here and he just kind of fizzled. It wasn't that great. I don't know. I personally, I think Christian Yelich needs a team of sports psychologists to figure out what's going on, and I'm surprised they're not seeking that kind of help for him, because the hitting thing in Milwaukee is just, either you're a natural hitter, like Ryan Braun. Ryan Braun was a natural hitter. As much as he was a cheater and he used steroids and all that stuff, and he was a natural hitter. He could hit, and only time will tell. Only time will tell with Christian Yelich, and I just want to beat up on it. High expectations towards Brewers moving forward into the future. Let's sweep the season series at American Family Field and into the future. Is that being greedy for them to win them all? Well, they're not going to win them all. That's physically impossible. So, yes and no. I mean, you're gonna come somewhere above 500. You're going to get a playoff berth. These are all things I've said already. I mean, if you haven't seen the season preview video, there's a list, 23 things the Brewers should do in 2023. It's a good list, but it's hard to expect them to win every day. It's hard to expect them to come out on top, and that's the thing we have to remind ourselves, and we have to ground ourselves as fans. Football season, it's easier to go 17-0 or 18-0 or 19-0 in the long haul. Yeah, and that's the truth. You're gonna try and win, but games like this happen. You will blow teams out and you'll get rocked. It happens. It's a great thing to say. It is, and that's the logic of any sports fan. Basketball and baseball are those two that have very long seasons where there's a lot of games, and there is yet to be in the history a team that's won them all. So you're gonna lose series too. I mean, we're gonna lose series at the end of the day. It's like expectations, managing your expectations. You're gonna lose some to the Cardinals. You're gonna win some to the. You're gonna lose some to the Cubs. You're gonna lose some to Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, even though you don't want to. Those are the games that you want to win, but you're gonna have clunkers. You're gonna have bad days. People aren't gonna hit. That's why I'm still surprised they start the season in Chicago, because those games, nobody hits in those. Unless you're Tampa. Yeah, Tampa's on a tear. But I mean, these things will work themselves out in the long haul. Long and short, they're going to work themselves out. I mean, we're fresh into this thing, and it's fun to talk about. It's fun to speculate that we could, that you could win them all. And Tampa's one of those sneaky teams. They really are. They're still perfect. I don't even look. Tampa Bay Rays. Where are they? Ain't no. Oh my God. That's awesome. That's so cool. And it's funny. It's funny to think like they have the best chance. I don't know what's the best. Like, I'm not a stats guy. I don't like breathe the stats and like can't just pick them out of my brain like everybody else. So that's why I have to, like, if I have to talk stats or want to talk stats, I write them down on a piece of paper and then I do that. But we're still leading the division, and I think that's huge, and I think that's awesome. I'm surprised Pittsburgh is balling out the way that they're balling out. They've got that young outfield, and they've got O'Neal Cruz, and maybe a tough squad. They have played the worst three teams in baseball. That's what happens, though. And good teams beat bad teams beat good teams, and good teams beat bad teams. I mean, that happens every day. So I don't know. If I were to build this lineup every day, I would have so much fun with it, because you look at who we got and what's going on right now with the team, and it's like sunshine and rainbows, just good things, good vibes. I mean, you could really kind of fill these guys in anywhere. Um, and they'll play with it. And they'll work it to a good enough lineup. You know what I mean? Like, there'll be some rotating spots throughout the season, and we'll have a lot of fun with it. Yes, it would. It would, Andrew. I agree. He says Tampa Bay versus Milwaukee in the World Series would be fun. I'd also like to see like Seattle versus Milwaukee. I think that'd be a fun matchup. Just because we have such a deep tie to Seattle. Um, but yeah, it's funny to think about, like, these teams are. I said the other day I'd like to see the teams with money win, just to prove that spending money works. Um, but now I'm kind of being proven wrong by what the Brewers have pulled out of these rookies and what they're doing with these rookies at this juncture. Um, but we'll see. We'll see what it does in 162. Hey, we live and we learn. I mean, I ragged on the rules all off season long, and I'm actually really enjoying baseball now. I mean, you can watch a game and get on with your day and get on with your night. And in my case, where I'm recording a live show almost nightly, it's very nice to be able to get stuff done and record this and put it out before midnight. Like, a lot of nights, and this week is going to be the week for that. Like, especially with playing West Coast teams, like East Coast, West Coast, right? Yeah. Late games, lots of late games. So I don't know that I'll be live because I don't know who will be up, but I'll record videos, and they might be tired videos. Like, I unfortunately I go through the ebbs and flows of the season, and the ebbs and flows of podcasting are that you're like, sometimes you're tired and there's no energy to a podcast because you're like, there's just nothing to talk about. I agree. I'm 100% with him. First, but yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's cool because it's like it's new and different, and like it's gonna change the game for the better. And I think once the vast majority of fans come back and realize that they didn't screw this up this time, and I'm gonna credit Theo Epstein. Theo Epstein was the guy who did this, and he like pioneered what turned out to be probably the best change to a sport to ever take place. And hopefully it grows the game. Hopefully it grows the game. Right. So it's funny you say that because I was at that game as well. And I always have my phone out and I take a lot of pictures. If you go to my social media pages, you can see some of the pictures. Um, and they're of my family too. Like my wife, my son, and I go to games, and that's our thing. And the part of it is if you're not looking, you're gonna miss something now. Like you can go through an inning if you're staring down at stats or fantasy baseball or something on your phone or trying to set up something. Like even when I bring my camera to a game, like I didn't bring my camera on Wednesday, but I had my camera Monday, and I spent too much time screwing with my camera and not enough time watching the game. Um, and I think it goes the same with watching it on television. Now you're not going to be able to take the normal breaks and stare down at your phone and watch YouTube or TikTok videos. You're going to have to watch my videos after the game, which is fine. I'm okay with that. Whatever you watch is fine with me. Yeah, exactly. Like we want to get to the point where we're not staring at our phones. I think that makes it more fun. Because I didn't realize the amount of time, and I mean, I live on my phone. I do social media, obviously for fun and this is part of my life. But I don't want to. I want to spend less time on it, not more time. I mean, I do Uber, and Uber's enough time staring at your phone. Your phone is literally in front of your face the whole time. It's just it is what it is. So it makes it better to not be staring at your phone the whole time. I really think so, and it makes it better because you're forced to watch the game. You're forced to see it, or you're gonna miss it. I was watching. What was I watching? Oh, it was a game early in the season where Hunter Renfrow made a catch. It was like an older over the shoulder no look catch, and it was like super awesome. And it was like I just missed that because I wasn't paying attention. They replayed it, and I caught it on the replay, but still, like you miss the good parts of the game if you're not watching, particularly, and that sucks. That sucks. I said downright ugly is just Christian Yelich in the pitching, right? Or in the Eric Lauer starting pitching. I'm pretty sure I said that already. And Hauser is going to start in rehab in Nashville. That is official now. So I think I'll probably spend more time on this and expand on this more in a few episodes, or maybe I'll just do a specific episode. I have to do one for brewfanatic.com. If you don't know, I'm a part of that website. I do specific videos for them. But I think that'll be my next breakdown. There was 43,000. Is that the attendance? I didn't even click on that yet. I'm in the box score. I just didn't click on that. Well, it was their first giveaway too. The Giannis giveaway is, of course, going to be really popular. What was the total? 43 what? 43 what? Lauer had a pitching violation. 43,077. Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. And I think people are going to get the word. Like, people are going to start hearing this is a better game now. So that's huge. Like, for the sport as overall. Like, opening day was a sellout. So basically, they sold all the tickets, but there wasn't people inside. Opening day is a drunk fest. We all know this. And for us to see this amount of people in a game on a regular basis is going to be fun. It's going to be fun to go to games and have sellouts and things like that. As much as I don't like, sometimes I like to have like open seats next to me. I might have to start singing the 400s if the game gets better, because this will improve the money that the Brewers can spend. I mean, we haven't done jersey patches on the shoulder yet. They're coming. Don't worry, they will be here sometime this season. They just have to find an official partner that's going to pay them enough money for it. And we'll see how Sunday is. Now that Sunday's not a giveaway day, and they're doing a $50 or $60 value package for families, is it going to make them bigger or smaller? Like, I don't know. Like, the bobblehead was always a huge craze, and I know that the Giannis jersey was a huge craze. I mean, they gave out 30,000 of those damn things. Yeah, I couldn't agree with this statement more. I feel our fan base is being revived by the young guys. Such a better feel. It is. And, had we, we didn't get the hype for it. And I think them doing the docuseries that they did, the freshmen, really, really made this worthwhile because it was like a hype video in the series. Like you're hyping these guys up to be as good as they're going to be, and now they're coming out here and they're proving it, and they're going to work and they're proving it, and they're young, so they'll be resilient. They'll take a 6-2 or 6-0 loss personal, and that's what you want in baseball. That's what you want every day. We want to go out and we want to see these guys just come out to perform for us. And what a better time. What a better time. We still got Burns, we still got Woody, you got Freddie, you've got these other two young guys that we don't know what their position is overall. Ashby, obviously he's not going to be here this year, but maybe Ethan Small makes an appearance late in the year, or maybe he figures out something like as a bullpen role. And that is amazing for baseball in Milwaukee, anyways. Yes, me too. I like Garrett last year. I like what he represents. I like his presence as a player. Um, all around, it seems like he could be a franchise player. Over the next few years. Gasser, Robert Gasser, or David Robert Gasser. I don't know that I don't know that they got enough of a feel for him yet. I don't know. They haven't really said too much in all the prospect articles that I've read about his timetable to Milwaukee. They might just bring him up as a feeler just to see where he could go. And I forgot he was the remaining piece. I see, I know, like these moves and what we got, but it's like you kind of forget about them too because there's just so many prospects and pieces in this whole pie. I mean, we signed another guy, Justin Wilson, and for some reason when Bryce Wilson was in the other day, I thought it was Justin Wilson. I was like, I thought he was injured for half the year. Hater for Contreras and multiple arms. Ended up being good. It sucks we let him go, but I have faith in Devin, and it was inevitable. I still struggle with this every day. I still struggle with it every day, Ryan. What we got out of it was good. But we were good the way we were. And you sabotaged a team that could have went to the playoffs. We just fell off hard, and it's because those guys were all used to each other, and there's team camaraderie. There's a lot of things to say about it, but like hindsight, yes, I don't consider Contreras a win out of the Josh Hader trade. Contreras and anything that happens after, I don't like. They fucked up the season with trading Josh Hader, and in turn ended up. Yeah, the collapse was a trade. Yeah, you're dead nuts on there. So yes, Contreras is a good. I mean, we're gonna have a good catcher for 5 years. He seems to be a solid player, and I look forward to watching him play for many years to come. The other arms and things like that helps. It helps. It's all softening the blow. Is what it is. And David Stearns was a coward, and he stepped down immediately after he did something that pissed the fan base off. Let's be real. It did it to all of us though, Andrew. You can't even be mad. Like like, you can't be upset at yourself because they did this to all of us. They basically just stuck their middle finger in the air and waved it as high as they possibly could, and then they threw some $6 ticket vouchers at us and our concession stand vouchers at us and thought we'd be happy. It's like, hey, we just effed our series chances, but hey, here's some free food at the games. Free hot dog. There you go. Go get them. It was hard, and like, I think that's why this youth movement has been very good, because it has made it like, okay, they didn't just totally screw us, like, yeah, and I agree. I mean, right now, the Corbin trade is something that's going to be a hot topic, and I personally think you don't need to get anything for him. And I've said this in multiple occasions in multiple videos. First, I want him to pitch as good as he can. I want him to have as much value as he can, because you know what that means for us? Wins. At the end of the day, wins for Corbin are wins for us. And if we don't trade him, say we use this next 2-year window where we have these young guys that are are batting well and stuff like that. If we can use this next 2-year window where we have Corbin and Woody and Willie Adamas, and we can springboard and rocket ourselves through the playoffs, great. But if we trade him, then we need to get an impact piece immediately. We can't trade him and get out of the window that we're in with what we've got. I mean, Andrew, I'm not going to say you're wrong. I mean, I think the arbitration thing with Josh Hader was part of why he got traded, because there was a little bit of friction and unhappiness with the organization after that from Josh Hader. And I think anytime they devalue a player like that, it's going to cause friction with that player, because they don't understand that it's business, it's not personal. They just don't want to cut a check. I mean, they're already cutting a big enough check to Christian Yelich, as we talked about earlier in the episode, and they can't avoid that check. So they're going to try and cut these guys as little money as possible. Now, when Garrett Mitchell and these guys all come up for arbitration, they're gonna make $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, $5 million, and it's going to be what it's going to be, and they're gonna fight those deals too. That's the business of baseball, unfortunately. It's a shitty business. It's a very shitty business. Yeah, our hearings are terrible, and it's a really just a crappy thing for the game of baseball. Um, I think what made it bad is they shoved a microphone in Corbin's face, um, and that was really the terrible part of that whole deal. Just like a couple weeks, like toward the end of spring training, they shoved a mic in the mic in Castanier's face, and he said, "Well, I'm trying my hardest." It's like, or I think I'm fine. I think I'm doing okay. And then he got DFA'd. I mean, it's like, and then I was listening to. I'm gonna switch gears. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and I don't remember which one it was. I want to say it was like I think it was the beat reporters from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, and they were talking about Castanera, and they were talking about how they were surprised that no one picked up Castanera when he was designated. And I said to myself, "Are you on drugs? Are you on fucking drugs?" Pardon my language, but Castanera is not good. He has proven it. He can't play a position. Well, okay, he can hit, but he can't do that consistently either. He's going to be one of these guys who's going to hit well in the minors. They're going to try him out again, and then they're going to have to cut him again. but there's not a position for him. So I don't think we're even going to see that. I think he'll be in the minors and then eventually just retire or go away. I.e., Corey Ray was a great example of that. And it's just, he's a good AAA DH. I love it. What did you say? Yeah, and Corbin is going to be. Please no more Hira. Comment of the day right there. Please no more Hira. I'm over it. I don't want to see it anymore, and I think that the organization is just, they hang on to these guys like this. Some of these highly touted prospects that we've had over the years, we've hung on to for too long. And I'm gonna throw this one out there. Even Orlando Arcia needed a change of scenery 2 years before it happened. He got some good streaky hits for us. He was part of the playoffs in 18. I'm not going to discredit everything Keston Hira did for us, or not Keston Hira, Orlando Arcia did for us. But at the same time, I think he needed a team that was going to coach him up and make him better. And I think he found that in the Braves, and I think that's why he's having a good season to start with the Braves. Sometimes a change of scenery makes a player better. And you could say that with Christian Yelich too, but I don't think. Yeah, Domingo was another guy. Like, we had these guys, and the only Domingo Santana, Brett Phillips, and Keon Broxton. Those guys all fell off. Last season, Keon Broxton was playing in Mexico, and then we re-signed him for AAA. And then Domingo, I think Domingo is out in Japan right now. And Brett Phillips is an Angel. So, and I think Brett Phillips' versatility is the only reason he's still a Major League Baseball player. I honestly do, because it's just funny that he pitches occasionally. But now the rules have changed, so we'll see if that actually continues. I loved Keon too. Keon was one of my favorites, and then we brought Kane back, and we didn't have a spot for these guys, and it's just kind of how it goes. Unfortunately, we get these fun players, and they Chris Carter was another example. Chris Carter, they called him Sleepy, and he freaking hit dingers for days, and he was awesome. But your Vogelbachs. I wish some of these players would have been more consistent, more long-term Brewers, but I think at the end of the day, like, they were what they were for us, and they served their purpose. They'll go down, they'll be loved in Milwaukee forever. One of my favorite things is once a Brewer, always a Brewer, because it seems like any time a Brewer does something, Facebook or Twitter lights up with Brewers fans talking about that player. So that's where, Arcia is going to get some love from us right now, because Arcia did something really good. It's playing really awesome. Josh Hader will be one of those guys. And it'll be interesting to see where Hader's career goes with San Diego, if they extend him, or they've got the money. They've been spending money. So, yeah. Is there anything else you guys got on the agenda or want to talk about tonight? Arenado hit number 300 milestone home run. Congrats for him. Good job. Oh, Russell Brandon he was a beast. He was a part of that era where we just had, like, good offense, and our pitching was kind of terrible. I mean, Giovanni was kind of the best thing we had going for a while, and that was fun, but at the same time, it is what it is. Guys, we have gone 50 minutes on live. I appreciate you, Andrew and Ryan. Welcome aboard. Thank you for joining the chat tonight. I really appreciate it every time somebody participates and is active in this thing. So feel free to come back, check on by. This video will go live tomorrow. I'm not going to add anything to it. It is live after the show. So, guys, thank you for watching tonight. Thank you for participating. I always enjoy it. Start again tomorrow. Yeah, I talk Brewers every day, so feel free to join the lives. I'm gonna try and make this a regular thing. I might miss a few here and there, but I'm gonna try and chat Brewers on a regular basis and just do it live. And as always, cover the good, the bad, the downright ugly of every game. And the show is up every morning at 5:30 a.m. Central Standard Time on anywhere: Rumble, YouTube, Spotify, Google, Castbox, iHeartRadio, you name it. It's there in audio, video form. And then you go over to brewerfanatic.com and you see my additional videos, and use the code Miller Park Minute at SeatGeek to save $20 off your first purchase with SeatGeek. And if you want to support the channel, you can go over to patreon.com/Miller Park Minute and support us right there. That's all I got for you guys tonight. Thank you for being here. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your night, and go Brewers.
Thank you for watching the Miller Park Minute. Go Brewers.